Russia's drone rams, US F-35, what happened next, shook the world August 18, 2025. What began as a routine patrol in international skies over the Baltic Sea suddenly spiraled into an event that would shake the entire world. Russia, convinced it was targeting a Ukrainian aircraft, fired a missile from Kaliningrad. But what its radar had actually locked onto was no ordinary jet. It was an American F-35A Lightning II, one of the most advanced stealth fighters on Earth. Within seconds, a missile weighing nearly 4,000 pounds roared into the sky at Mach 14, over 10,000 miles per hour. Its warhead never struck directly, but when it detonated just 600 yards away, the shock wave was catastrophic. The F-35's stealth skin ripped apart, one wing shredded, its control surfaces crippled. The American pilot, only 34 years old, fought desperately to stabilize his jet, pulling into violent maneuvers, ejecting flares, his console flashing with alarms. For 27 terrifying seconds, he wrestled with death itself, but he couldn't win. At 9:47 a.m., his voice came through on secure comms, low but steady. Mayday, Mayday. Falcon 1 hit over Baltic waters, aircraft damaged. Attempting controlled ditch moments later, the $98 million fighter disappeared beneath the waves of the Baltic Sea. That single radio call didn't just mark the loss of one aircraft, it lit a fuse. In Washington, leaders saw it not as a mistake, but as an act of war. And hours later, America would unleash a firestorm. Shockwave, send pilots mayday. The F-35's destruction wasn't the result of a direct hit. Instead, the Russian 48N-6DM missile, over 22 feet long, self-destructed when it got close. The explosion tore through the thin Baltic air like a thunderclap, its shockwave rattling the stealth jet until it was no longer combat capable. Inside the cockpit, alarms screamed. The pilot was pinned by crushing G-forces as he dived, flared, and fought to control a machine that was falling apart around him. His hands trembled on the stick, sweat stinging his eyes, every second stretching into an eternity as he battled to keep his jet alive. As he keyed his last transmission, U.S. satellites were already recording the incident, tracking the missile's origin. Kaliningrad, Russia's most fortified enclave, bristling with radars and missile batteries, ready to lock on to anything in the sky. What Moscow claimed later was a mistaken engagement was impossible to believe. Kaliningrad was not just any military outpost, it was Russia's western fortress. Its radars didn't make mistakes, and everyone in Washington knew it. At that moment, the jet vanished into the sea, but its loss would ripple far beyond the Baltic waters. Washington's answer was coming, and it would not be words. It would be fire. Washington reacts. At 4:15 a.m. Washington time, the encrypted emergency signal reached the Pentagon. Aircraft hit, pilot ejecting. Immediate recovery needed. The chilling words bounced across satellites, pulling America's most powerful institutions instantly into action. Within minutes, the Situation Room inside the White House filled with America's top leaders: the President, Secretary of Defense, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, and National Security Advisor. Faces grim, they studied the live satellite images and intercepted communications as the weight of the moment settled in. The verdict was clear. This wasn't an accident. Russia had fired on a U.S. aircraft in international airspace. The implications were enormous, and hesitation could not be afforded. At 4:27 a.m., the president gave a single chilling order: prepare the fleet. Far across the Atlantic, the USS Gerald R, America's most advanced aircraft carrier, was already on station. Its strike group bristled with power: 1 carrier, 2 guided missile cruisers, 3 destroyers, and over 75 aircraft ready to launch at a moment's notice. The plan was simple, brutal, and precise. Strike Kaliningrad's heart. The fortress Russia had proudly claimed was impenetrable would now be tested in the most unforgiving way possible. USS Gerald R. prepares to strike. At 3:30 p.m. Baltic time, the first wave launched. From the deck of the Gerald R. 68 unmanned suicide drones lifted into the sky, their wings glinting against the sun. Each carried 200 pounds of explosives and radar-jamming pods designed to blind Russian defenses. Behind them came the steel hammer: 15 F-22 Raptors and 10 F-15EX Eagles, their bays loaded with JDAM smart bombs and AMRAAM missiles. They climbed in tight V formations, engines thundering, slicing through Baltic skies. On the carrier deck, sailors watched silently. They knew what was at stake. The next half hour could decide if this was simply retaliation or the beginning of global war. Inside Kaliningrad's bunkers, alarms screamed. Russian radar operators suddenly saw their screens explode with ghost contacts. The American drones had flooded the airwaves, creating hundreds of false signals. But not all systems went dark. Russian Pantsir S-1 and Buk M3 batteries still tracked the real swarm. Then the sky lit up. 18 surface-to-air missiles corkscrewed upward, detonating among the drones. Within 90 seconds, 12 American UAVs were shredded. But the swarm pressed forward. The surviving 56 split into 3 attack groups and dove toward their targets. At 3:43 p.m., the first impact came. A drone slammed directly into an S-400 battery, detonating in a fireball that ripped fuel trucks apart and sent secondary explosions skyward. The fortress of Kaliningrad had just been breached. Russia strikes back. The Americans seized the opening. Raptors swooped in pairs, unleashing 2,000-pound bombs with surgical precision. A $300 million radar dome disintegrated in one strike. A hardened command bunker cracked open like an eggshell. But Russia wasn't finished. At 3:51 p.m., surviving S-300V4 and Panzer systems retaliated with overwhelming firepower. 22 missiles streaked upward, white contrails crossing the sky. The nightmare every U.S. commander feared became real. At 3:53 p.m., an F-15EX took a direct hit. The $87 million jet disintegrated midair, raining debris into the Baltic Sea. Both pilots ejected, but never survived. Their parachutes burned before they touched water. Seconds later, an F-22 Raptor barely escaped another missile, its stealth skin shredded, smoke trailing as the pilot limped back toward international waters. For a moment, chaos threatened to reverse America's momentum. The cost of retaliation was being measured in lives. But then, the counterstrike came. Tomahawks from the sea. At 3:58 p.m., the USS Thomas Hudner, an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, received targeting coordinates from U.S. satellites. Seconds later, its vertical launch cells ignited. 20 Tomahawk cruise missiles roared skyward, each carrying a 1,000-pound warhead. Flying low at 550 miles per hour, they hugged the Baltic coastline, slipping under radar coverage. At 4:02 p.m., the first slammed into a reinforced bunker, hurling a 30-ton steel door into the air. Another tore through a command post, killing 24 Russian officers instantly. Missile after missile struck. An ammunition warehouse erupted, its secondary explosions shaking villages 10 miles away. Flames shot 300 feet high. A $250 million radar dome vanished in a flash. By 4:07 p.m., Kaliningrad's command network was collapsing. Nearly half its senior officers were dead. Communications between surviving batteries were static. The fortress Moscow had called untouchable was bleeding out. Aftermath, fortress erased. By 4:30 p.m., the battle was over. Satellite images showed the devastation. Over 72% of Kaliningrad's air defenses destroyed in under 47 minutes. The losses were staggering. At least 47 Russian officers, including 3 generals and 9 colonels, were confirmed dead. Over 420 soldiers were killed or wounded. Ammunition depots that had taken a decade to stockpile were gone in an hour. Damage estimates soared past $6.4 billion. Of the 12 radar sites once guarding the enclave, only one remained, limping on emergency power. On the Russian side, panic spread. Troops abandoned positions, convoys fled inland, families evacuated coastal towns. Kaliningrad, once Moscow's pride, had been silenced. For the U.S., the cost was painful but limited. 2 fighters lost, 2 pilots dead. Their sacrifice burned deeply, but the outcome was undeniable. Russia's impenetrable fortress was reduced to ruins. In less than an hour, a single Russian missile strike spiraled into catastrophe for Moscow. America had responded with 68 drones, 25 fighters, and 20 Tomahawks, and the result was absolute. Over 400 Russian casualties, billions in destroyed assets, and a fortress erased. But victory came at a price. 2 American pilots had given their lives that day. On the deck of the Gerald R. Ford, their absence was felt more deeply than any triumph could conceal. Kaliningrad had been considered untouchable. Now it was a smoldering warning. To allies, it was proof that America would never hesitate to defend its own. To adversaries, it was a lesson carved in ruins. Strike at an American aircraft, and the response will not be measured in words but in annihilation. So, What do you think? Was this Russia's mistake or a deliberate provocation? And how should the US handle confrontations like this in the future? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more in-depth military analyses, and turn on notifications so you never miss the untold stories of modern warfare. Because when history is written in fire and steel, you'll want to know every chapter.